Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin our program, it is my honor to introduce for our opening invocation, Pastor Andrew Wiesman.
Let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, to whom the passing of time poses no limitations, we give you thanks today for the gift of life and for all our activities begun, continued, and finding their end in you and your gracious love. We thank you for the gift of human community, for our families, which you have appointed for us to come to know most clearly, most intimately, your steadfast faithfulness and love. We thank you for the joy of community we experience at the workplace and among our friends. And today we thank you especially for the sense of community you give and have given through the ages to Lenoir-Rhyne. Thank you for the challenges, the encouragement, the forgiven failures, and the glorious successes you have given to your people in the Lenoir-Rhyne community. Thank you for pushing us onward and upward through your servants, our teachers, our coaches, and mentors, so that some of us achieve almost superhuman accomplishments, such as the athletic achievements we honor here today. For all of this we bless you, gracious God, mindful that when we honor good works among us, we simply crown your achievements, your works done through us. You have blessed us, Lord, and we pray that with our lives we may always be your means of blessing to others, following the example of Jesus. Amen.
Here to give us our opening welcome is the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Ms. Kim Pate.
Welcome to all alumni and current and former faculty, staff, students, and friends of the university. A special welcome back to all current members of the Lenoir-Rhyne Sports Hall of Fame, and my personal congratulations to this very distinct and accomplished 2018 class of inductees. The Lenoir-Rhyne Sports Hall of Fame is held in reserve as the highest athletic recognition bestowed by the university. It is intended to recognize and perpetuate the noteworthy athletic tradition of Lenoir-Rhyne by honoring and memorializing individuals who have made extraordinary contributions to the tradition. Today, I'm pleased to celebrate the induction of 5 additional Sports Hall of Fame members into this distinct class of honorees. But before we get started with the ceremony, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize and thank the members of the Hall of Fame Committee for their dedication and service, along with those who have played a key role in planning today's ceremony. I'd like to give a special thanks to Sheena Holler, our committee chair. Sheena Holler, where is she at? Just gotta stand and be recognized. Oh yeah, right over here. Sheena Holler, let's give her a round of applause. President Fred Witt, Andy Anderson, Brandy Mueller, Tommy Deal, Mike McCree, Juju Phillips, Joe Smith, Charles Snipes, Lisa Harris, Dr. Amy Wood, and Kay Smith have all been integral in this year's induction process. I'd also like to express my deep appreciation to Juju Phillips, the long-standing MC of today's Hall of Fame ceremony, and the unofficial historian, along with Jack Huss, and the voice of the Bears. Join me today in welcoming Juju back to the podium to kick off our program.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As we get ready, and as you heard Kim say on behalf of the Sports Hall of Fame Committee, this is the 42nd annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and there aren't too many Hall of Fames out there for universities and colleges that have been around as long as Lenoir-Rhyne's. The Sports Hall of Fame was established by the Board of Trustees back in 1976. Its purpose was to recognize and perpetuate the noteworthy athletic tradition of Lenoir-Rhyne University. by honoring the individuals who have made extraordinary contributions to our great traditions. The Hall of Fame operates under the authority of the Board of Trustees according to those guidelines that were established by the group. And all awards and administration are provided by the Lenoir-Rhyne Department of Athletics. You know, over the years, we have heard many of the inductees stand here and describe what Lenoir-Rhyne has meant to them, the foundation that was built or the seeds planted, but perhaps most importantly, they've talked about the relationships, those relationships that were formed and fostered here, and the impact that Lenoir-Rhyne has had in their pursuit of their life's work. This morning, we recognize and honor the class of 2018. Before we do that, though, I think I would be remiss. We want to recognize all the Hall of Famers that are with us here this morning. Let's give them a round of applause. And for the class of 2018, we're excited that their families, teammates, friends, and even coaches are here today and able to share in this honor with them. They'll become part of an exclusive fraternity, their school's Hall of Fame. This year's class is a group of talented individuals who left their mark as record breakers and standard bearers. They were major contributors, all five, on championship-winning teams. 3 football players from the 60s, 70s, and 80s decades. And then 2 softball teammates that only a little over a decade ago led Lenoir-Rhyne's softball program to championships again. This year's class of 5, most importantly perhaps, they honor Lenoir-Rhyne University through their amazing accomplishments and contributions. Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin the class of 2018 in this morning's ceremony, we would like to honor our first inductee. I ask you please take a look at the screen.
Benny Moose, class of 1970, arrived to Lenoir-Rhyne from Mount Pleasant, North Carolina, and became a noteworthy 2-sport athlete in the late 1960s. On the gridiron, Moose was a key defensive cog on 3 Carolinas Conference championship teams that went 26-11. Moose's ball hawking skills ranks him in the top 15 all-time with 10 career interceptions. He was a 3-time All-Conference performer, All-District defensive back, and 2-time Lutheran All-American. Moose's exploits continued on the track where he won several awards. He spent 45 years as an educator, coach, and administrator. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame is about records and memories. Memory provides us access to the past as it constantly recedes away from us. This morning we remember and honor the athletic achievements of Mr. Benny Moose, Hall of Fame class of 2018.
Benny, will you please come forward and accept your award? Fred Witt, and Athletic Director Kim Page. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Moose. Where do we start? Congratulations, first off, Benny. I would guess, as you look back on your career at Lenoir-Rhyne and seeing the crowd that's here this morning, you probably have a lot of people to thank.
I really do, and I want to start off by thanking and recognizing Dr. Witt for his contribution to Lenoir-Rhyne and support for the athletics here. The 22 teams here is almost unbelievable, and the support the administration gives makes it all worthwhile. And I want to also thank the people of the Hall of Fame committee for the work that they did and the special event that they made it for this weekend. I'm very appreciative of that. Also, I want to recognize my family, if I could, that came today. I have out in the audience today my sister-in-law, Frida, which brought my mother-in-law, which is 87 years old today, or is 87 years old, and she came all the way from Concord, North Carolina, and she's with us today. And My mother and father-in-law were great supporters of Lenoir-Rhyne College. Back when I was playing, they came to every home game and every away game that pretty much we had, even that one who had at Carson Union, which rained so hard that the field was soaking with water. I also have with us today, I have my daughter, Benita, and her husband, David, and they have 3 children. The oldest one is Connor. He's a junior at Appalachian this year. I have my only granddaughter. She is a 9th grader at Mount Pleasant High School, and my youngest grandson is a 6th grader at Mount Pleasant Middle School. And I have my son Benji and his wife Susan with us today, and they have 2 children, Gavin and Keegan. And Gavin is a sophomore at Mount Pleasant High School, and Keegan is a 8th grader at Mount Pleasant Middle School. And I have to brag on my grandkids because each one of them are very involved in athletics, and they are good in their sport. Bonnie and I, we spend a lot of time together, going during the weekend and during the week, sitting on bleachers watching them play, and I love every minute of it. So I'm glad they were here to be with us today also. I don't know whether, and also had some former coaches that I coached with, and Joe Murphy, I got to meet him for the first time, that played with Arden Ray, which was a coach that I had. And I want to thank everybody that came to support me. I appreciate that.
You came here from Mount Pleasant, as you talked about, and you were part of so many winning teams and championship teams. I'm sure you have a story or two. You played for Coach Painter. How did you arrive? What brought you to Lenoir-Rhyne?
Several things brought me to Lenoir-Rhyne. First was that I was looking for a Christian-based education. I was looking for an educational department, which was really first class. And also, I liked the campus. I thought it was beautiful. And the winning tradition that Lenoir-Rhyne had in football really impressed me, and that's where I wanted to be, a school that had a winning tradition. Also, my coach, former high school coach, Arden Ray, he was a very big influence to me because he was a graduate of Lenoir-Rhyne. He was an All-American and also was inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. He passed away several years ago and miss him dearly. But he was a big influence in why I came to Lenoir-Rhyne. And I remember one Saturday in late fall, Arden brought me up here for a football tryout. And I'd never been to a football tryout, so I was nervous. I was from small town Mount Pleasant. And come up here for a tryout, and I got up here and met Hanley Painter, Coach Cornell, Danny Williams, and they impressed me too. So I had some good vibes when I got here. And we were going to go out on the field to work out and do some 50-yard dashes and some catches and handoffs and so forth. And Coach Painter had 2 guys stay after to help with the practice or workout on the field. And those 2 guys are in the audience today, and I don't know if I ever told them this or not, but they could see that I was kind of nervous, and they sort of came over and calmed me down, said everything will be all right, do the best you can. And that was Jack Huss and George Miles. Those were the 2 that happened to be one of those that pretty much persuaded me, because I said if I ever had the opportunity to come to Lenoir-Rhyne, that's where I was coming with students like that. And Jack and George started a Legends group too, which has kept us all together, and I appreciate them a lot for doing that, because I got to meet a lot of different teammates I haven't seen since I graduated. And I would say those are the 3 main reasons I came to Lenoir-Rhyne.
When you talk about, and take us back a little bit, back to the 60s, Lenoir-Rhyne had championship teams. You played on them, especially on defense. I know the offense scored a lot of points, especially, I guess, in 68. You were part of a very good defense. You made All-American. What was it like playing for the Bears on defense back then?
I was blessed to be able to play with a bunch of great players. That's all I can say. And the success that I had was basically the players that I played with. I was a defensive back, and the best defensive is a good defensive rush. And I had people in front of me that did that. You had Larry Helms, Ed Joyner, you had Tom Lunston, Doug Cole, George Zarovich, all those players there. I mean, they put a pass rush on the passer, and hey, you couldn't help but stay with your guy. So a good pass rush is what you need to be a good defensive back, and that's what I had. And also I was playing that back there with me was two super guys. Was Mike Trimp and Kelly Russell. And Mike was one of those, if I needed help, he was right there to help me out. And Kelly the same way. So I would have to say my success came directly from the people that was in front of me and played with me. Because without them, hey, I was one of 11.
As you were looking forward to this morning and knowing what this is all about, can you put into words, have you been able to put into words what it means to go into the Hall of Fame here?
It's hard to put into words what going into the Hall of Fame means. When I first heard this, I was very honored. I'm humbled by being in a group with these guys sitting down here, being in the same group with them. It is very humbling for me to be with them in the same category. They are a super bunch of guys, and I just, it's hard to put into words. The Lord has blessed me a lot in my life and put me around a good college, good people, good coaches, good family, and I couldn't ask for any more.
You talked about the impact some of these teammates of yours and the reason you came to Lenoir-Rhyne, but my understanding is after you left Lenoir-Rhyne, you got into education, and your impact even was felt by even some Lenoir-Rhyne Hall of Famers now who either taught under you or took their student teaching with you at Newton Conover. Talk about that, if you would, and how Lenoir-Rhyne prepared you for your life after college and in education.
Okay, I started at Newton Conover Junior High School, and I had Tommy Simmons was my first person that I was under, and sent him some people. Excuse me. And then Don Patrick came to Newton Conover, and he taught me a lot of how to get people ready to come to high school, because when I look back at what I had, and I had a student out here just come to me a while ago and said that he played with me in the 9th grade. And that meant a lot to me for him to come and show up for my inductee, and I appreciate that. And the success, watching the kids grow up and for them to come and become stars, and knowing that I had a little part in theirs. And I remember Coach Jarrett, Dale Jarrett, came through Newton Conover, and basketball, but I had nothing to do with his racing career, I'll tell you that.
Hey, as we wrap things up, did we leave out couple of final thoughts that you'd like to say about being inducted this morning?
I'd just like to thank the Hall of Fame committee, Lenoir-Rhyne. Like I said, I've been blessed all my life. Lenoir-Rhyne has been a part of my life ever since I was here. I don't think I would change anything. And the players I played with were super guys, and they're just been a blessing to me all my life. And the only thing I would change, I might have studied a little bit harder.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first Hall of Fame. I guess I don't have to walk over here. I can stand right here. If you take a look at our screen, fans, and again, as we continue to move on, here is our second inductee into the class of 2018.
Meredith O'Connor, LR class of 2009, is one of the most decorated pitchers to ever wear an LR uniform. O'Connor was part of 3 South Atlantic Conference championship teams and 3 NCAA Division II regional appearances. But she stands out as an LR Hall of Famer after sporting a 63-15 record while holding LR's career and single-season strikeout records and ranking in the top 5 all-time in 5 other pitching categories. O'Connor also became a 2-time South Atlantic Conference Pitcher of the Year and an All-American. Today in her life's work, O'Connor serves as a registered nurse and clinical supervisor in Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame is about records and memories. Memory provides us access to the past as it constantly recedes away from us. This morning we remember and honor the athletic achievements of Meredith O'Connor, Hall of Fame class of 2018.
And Meredith, will you please step forward? Congratulations. And as you look back, have you ever had to sit in front of a large crowd like this and talk about yourself?
No.
All right.
So I'm slightly nervous.
Okay. Well, tell us first. We saw the video and the pictures, and we heard about the numbers. Where did you learn to pitch so well?
Well, I've had several pitching coaches in my life. Ron McKeska was very influential during those pivotal years and teaching me the pitches I am known for, which are the rise ball and curveball. Not the changeup. No changeup. No.
Hey, if you would, tell the fans there and everybody here this morning, before we get into specifically your career, who would you like to thank that are here today?
Well, I'd like to thank my mom and brother. They're both here, and their sacrifices throughout my life to be able to be the athlete that I became. My friend Ashley Stewart is here in the audience as well. And my mentor and peer, Moni, she was my hitting coach and just a mentor throughout my softball journey. Rodney Threet, my head coach to the Lady Blues, my travel ball, he's here as well with his wife, Gail. He gave up so much for us to be able to play and in those important tournaments to be able to become college athletes. So I'd like to thank them for everything they've done for us, or for me.
You came here and the program was well established and you were part of, I think, 3 championship teams. Why was LR softball so dominant, so good back a little over a decade ago and still is today?
Well, we have, my teammates are here. That's, the big part of softball is a big team. The team atmosphere and Taylor was in the same class. So it was just a joint effort for us to be able to be in those championship games.
As you look back now, it's only been a little over a decade. What kind of impact has Lenoir-Rhyne had on you as I said, pursue your life's work?
Well, like you said, I'm a registered nurse, and so that is a very big team profession. And so just knowing that you work together, and the softball taught me that you work together and you get things done.
Did you know that when you came here that the program was so well established that you guys could accomplish what you did when you were here?
Of course, I believed in my teammates. So, yep. And Coach Holler was the best coach, and she led us, and we just did our thing.
How about putting into words, and I asked Mr. Moose, what is it like for you as you put into words to be a member of the Sports Hall of Fame?
That's the question I've thought most about, and it's very hard to come up with any words to describe this moment. All your hard work that I did over the years, starting when I was 10 years old playing slow pitch softball, transitioned to fast pitch, you know, those endless hours, those practices, not wanting to go out and run or condition, because everybody knows I don't like to run. And so it's an amazing honor. It's the best. I mean, it's a dream come true. Absolutely a dream come true for this moment.
Anybody you left out that are here today you'd like to thank or to recognize that are in the audience today?
No, I think I said everything.
You know.
Yes, I have.
Ladies and gentlemen, Meredith O'Connor. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would take a look at the screen, a teammate of Meredith as we go forward, the third inductee into the class of 2018.
Taylor Queen Pugh, class of 2008, arrived to Lenoir-Rhyne from nearby St. Stephen's High School and became a three-time South Atlantic Conference first-team all-conference performer. Taylor, like all of this year's Hall of Fame class, was part of a championship-winning team, helping the Bears win 3 South Atlantic Conference championships and a SAC tournament title. Taylor's name appears in the LR record book as a career leader for most runs scored and ranks in the top 5 all-time in hits, total bases, and stolen bases. She finished her LR career with a lifetime .346 average with 32 home runs and will be remembered as one of the best all-around softball players in LR history. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame is about records and memories. Memory provides us access to the past as it constantly recedes away from us. This morning, we remember and honor the athletic achievements of Taylor Queen Pugh, Hall of Fame class of 2018.
Taylor, will you please come forward? Congratulations. Taylor, congratulations. Before we get into your career, tell us how you came to Lenoir-Rhyne. How did you come down from St. Stephen's to Hickory to LR?
Okay, so anybody that doesn't know, I'm local from Hickory, and so Lenoir-Rhyne is close to home for me. So that was a huge part of my deciding factor to come here. My parents both worked full-time jobs, and I still had 2 living grandmothers at the time. So that gave me the opportunity to play in front of them for 4 more years. So that was absolutely important to me. So family, close to home. Second, Coach Holler. Obviously, I grew up here and attended Lenoir-Rhyne's camps growing up, and she had an outstanding reputation. The program, the school, so that stood out for me. And I wanted a small atmosphere. I had visited a few other bigger universities and colleges, and on those visits, you weren't really known as a person in the classroom. You were a number. So at Lenoir-Rhyne, I would be known as my name in class, so that was important to me. So those are all reasons that I chose LR.
And as you look back, I'm sure you want to thank some people that are here today.
Oh, absolutely. And to hit back on another reason I came, Brooke Starnes is a lifetime friend and teammate. She played here. She's here today, and I got to play ball with her starting at the age of 4. And when she came to LR, I told my mom, I said, I get to wear a jersey the same as her for 3 more years. I think I'll go for it. So she's here today. That's a huge thing for me, and I appreciate it. But there are so many other people I couldn't even imagine to begin to think. So I have my parents. Here I go. He told me I couldn't cry because people are taking bets on me. So isn't that great? Put some pressure on a person, right? I'm emotional, but so first of all, my parents, they played a huge part in all of this for me, where I am today and achieving this and what I've done in softball and in life. And then my husband, I met here at Lenoir-Rhyne, and we have 3 kids together, and they are all here. I think the baby might have had to escape, but my parents and Derek and Ronnie and Teresa Pugh are my in-laws. They are here, along with, I see Doug and Ruth Pugh, some aunts and uncles on my husband's side, and Derek's grandparents. I see some cousins, and my sister and her husband, Mackenzie and Evan, my aunt and uncle Daryl and Libby, and my cousin Natasha. I see so many people, and there are also some other faces. I got the opportunity to play travel ball with Meredith before I played here at Lenoir-Rhyne with her. So again, Rodney Threet is here in the crowd. Lady Blues, he ran that program for travel ball. A huge, huge influence in my softball. He is what got me to where I am and got me to play college ball. And Moni she was our coach for the Lady Blues, and there are just not words to describe her. She was incredible, a huge influence for me. So she's here today, and it just means so much. And I also see some other teammates, KP and Mia. Thank you, guys. And then, obviously, Coach Holler and Dave Holler, huge thank you to them. So, a lot of people, I'm so appreciative.
I was going to ask you about fondest memories, not necessarily games, but a lot of times playing sports, it's the relationships you form. As you look back, what are some of your fondest memories of playing?
Absolutely. Oh goodness, there's endless. But fall ball was so much fun here. That's where a lot of the fun memories were. We went on camping trips. Coach Holler and Dave took the whole crowd, the whole crew, and we went canoeing, whitewater rafting. We camped in tents. We camped in cabins with big spiders and good stuff. We roasted hot dogs and marshmallows. We had a great time. That was so much fun, and I'll never forget those moments. And a huge part of my memories are the away games, the travel and the buses and the vans. You talk about some good times. And Coach Holler, she was tough. She's softened up in these days, I've heard. But there were times we were in trouble because we didn't play well or we didn't practice well. And she would say, no talking or no sleeping on the way to a game. I'm going, you're talking to how many girls? You're telling them they can't sleep on a car ride for 2 hours? So we would turn our sweatshirts backwards so that they covered our face so that we could sleep. So she thought we were just like turned around so those are some great memories. And then my husband, I met here. A lot of great memories there. He played on the baseball team at Lenoir-Rhyne here, and his cousin John Pugh played as well. I actually met him first and had a great relationship with a bunch of guys on the baseball team. Some of my teammates married some baseball players. So that was just a great time, a good relationship with a lot of people. Met a lot of even classmates that I still talk to today that didn't even play sports. So,
as you look now this morning, what does it mean to you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Well, that's a big question, but it's certainly the most recognized honor I will ever receive, and I am humbled and grateful and happy and emotional and honored to be here, and it just means the absolute world. Like Meredith said, it is a dream come true.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand. Taylor Queen. I guess they lost their bets, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our fourth inductee into the class of 2018.
Ben Chip Sheffield, class of 1977, arrived to Lenoir-Rhyne from Gaffney, South Carolina, where he became a record-breaking dual-sport athlete, first as an all-conference and all-district wide receiver, and part of the first ever South Atlantic Conference championship team in 1975. Sheffield became a two-time honorable mention All-American and held 6 school records. Taken by the NFL's Tampa Bay Bucks in 1976, Sheffield is one of only 7 players in LR history to ever get drafted. He was also an All-Carolinas Conference track performer, holder of 2 school records at the time. Sheffield remains one of the greatest hurdlers in LR history. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame is about records and memories. Memory provides us access to the past as it constantly recedes away from us. This morning, we remember and honor the athletic achievements of Mr. Chip Sheffield, Hall of Fame class of 2018.
Chip, please come forward. Well, from one fellow wide receiver to another wide receiver, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm sure it means a lot for you to be into the Sports Hall of Fame. When we talked earlier this week, I want you to tell that story. The fact that you didn't play football, high school football, until you were a senior, and then all of a sudden you became an All-American at Lenoir-Rhyne. Talk about that story and how you came to Lenoir-Rhyne and what happened there.
All right. I went to school in Gaffney, South Carolina. I moved there prior to the 6th grade and played a little rec football as a way of getting to meet people. I had it 1 year at the junior high school in 8th grade, and I had a coach tell me that I would never make it at the high school level and that there wasn't any use in me pursuing a career in football because I didn't have what it took. So, unfortunately, I took him at his word, and I went to high school. Played tennis for a year. That wasn't me. Tried track and had some success in track. And I got to the summer prior to my senior year and just felt like I would regret for the rest of my life if I didn't try football. So I went out for the football team as a senior, and we had a new coaching staff had come to town. New head coach brought in assistant coaches, and so I went out for football and really didn't feel real comfortable. I didn't have a lot of confidence in my opportunity to play. But one of the coaches there, one of the assistant coaches, was, as it turned out, a Lenoir-Rhyne graduate. He's here this morning. He's in the Hall of Fame. But felt like he was very outgoing. He was very confident. He was just a very positive person. A lot of things that I wasn't. And for whatever reason, I just felt like he believed in me as far as being able to do things that I didn't think I could do. And so to Jack Huss, I owe a lot. So played a year of football in high school, had a measure of success, and decided, geez, I'd like to do this a little bit longer. So we made the travel tryouts at different schools, and I don't have a warm and fuzzy about the impression LR made on me. Quite honestly, they were the only institution that was willing to offer me a partial scholarship to play football. So I took them up on it and came to LR. At the time, they were running a single wing. I can remember sitting on my visit, I can remember sitting in the film room, and they're showing us game footage, and I was sitting there for just had no idea what was going on. I'd never seen the single wing run before. So I asked the guy beside me, I said, do you have any idea what they're doing? And he said, beats me. And so took a chance, came to Lenoir-Rhyne, and don't regret from it. Was such a good student while I was here that it took me 6 years to get a 4-year degree. So I kept the tradition of an athletic football player in the classroom. I kept that intact. I didn't ruin that for anybody. So I come back from the service, and like I said, I was gone for 2 years. I come back to the service. Well, now Jack Huss is the head football coach at Lenoir-Rhyne. So I don't know how many individuals can say that they played for the same coach both in high school and in college, but I was able to do that. While we did progress from the single wing, they were stuck on the wishbone. For those of you who are wide receiver, you know that doesn't mean you're going to get a lot of action. So I probably wasn't the best decision for me as a wide receiver, but it worked out really well. I was a part of the first SAC football championship team. I had the honor of playing, I believe I counted 9 people that are currently in the Hall of Fame that I was able to play with. So I was surrounded by a lot of good people, and it's just been a blessing. It was a blessing. The 4 years went by way too fast. Well, in my case, 6 years went by way too fast. But nonetheless, it was a real blessing for me.
Talk about the people that are here today to support you and are out in the audience and people you'd like to thank.
Yeah, so 2 people that I would like to thank aren't here, quite frankly. I think Benny mentioned about the commitment that his parents made. When I started my freshman year, my parents had moved to Bristol, Virginia, and it was like a 2-hour ride for them to come to a home game. By the time I got out of the service, they're now in LaGrange, Georgia, and it's a 5.5-hour drive. And they didn't miss a game. Home game, away game, they didn't care. They would come up and watch the ball game, speak to me afterwards, give me time to take a shower, meet me, and then they turn around and go back. My dad taught his Sunday school class at his church, and he wasn't going to miss that, so they just made a one-day trip to all the ball games. And my dad passed away in 2011. My mom, while she is still alive, she has been dealing with Alzheimer's disease for quite some time. So I wish they were here to experience this with me, but they're not. My wife is here. I've been married for 38 years. Her name is Pat. My son is here. His name is Brandon. Now, nobody bet on me, I know. So, I apologize. My son Brandon, his wife are both here. I have 2 grandchildren. They're both here, Cooper and Charlie. My brother and his wife are here. My sister flew in from California to be here. Just very grateful for the support that family provides. There's so many people to thank. I feel like I need to share something that really doesn't pertain, well, it does pertain to my time here, but I need to share something with y'all. I played on a team as a senior, as a co-captain, that didn't win a game. So you're talking about celebrating successes, and everybody here behind me was on a championship team, and I was on one. But to go through an entire season where the highlight of your year is a tie was pretty hard for me. And I made the decision that once I walked away, once I got my paper and I walked away, graduated from Lenoir-Rhyne, I wasn't coming back. And for roughly 30 years, I stuck to that. And unfortunately, I didn't make any effort to keep in touch with teammates, friends that I'd made here, or anything. And in 2008, I came home from work one day, and my wife said that there was a message on the answer machine that I needed to listen to. So I did, and it was Mike Everett, who was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2008. And it was, I don't know if this is the right Chip Sheffield. I played football with you back in the 70s. If it's you, call me. If it's not you, I'm sorry. And so I thought about it and decided, no, I can't do it. But I thank Mike for opening that door to reconnect with people that had been so important to me for a part of my life. The second person that I want to thank to tie into that story is my wife, Pat, because I know you who are married are used to your wife nudging you to do something from time to time that you may not want to do. Well, my wife wasn't much of a nudger, so every day when I got home from work, did you call Mike today? No, I did not. Why not? I told you I'm not going to. I want you to. Well, I'm not. I want to go see Lenoir-Rhyne. I'll take you up there sometime when we're headed that direction. I want to meet the people that knew you before I knew you. Hell no, that's never. That's not going to happen. And nobody's ever accused me of being the sharpest knife in the drawer, but after about a week of that, I realized that she wasn't going to take no for an answer. So I called Mike and told him I would come back for his induction ceremony. So I did, and it was great to see people that I hadn't seen in so long, to start reconnecting with people that had been, like I said, some very important to me. So those two people I owe a big thank you. Coach Huss, I've already touched on him and the impact he had on me. So I won't say any more there, but I thank him for that. The last people that I want to thank, and it's actually a couple. And when I was a freshman here, Tim Thick was in my freshman class. And we ran into each other at the gala in 2008 and started reminiscing. And his wife and my wife hit it off. Both of them were educators, had a lot in common. And they have, including this weekend, they have hosted my wife and I for every homecoming since we came back. And they plan Friday, and they plan Saturday, and they plan Sunday, and they just really made this weekend special. So I've gone from someone who walked away and said, that's it, I'm never coming back, to someone who is now, we're here for Letterman's Day. I was here 2 weeks ago. We're here for homecoming. I'm now a season ticket holder. So we come to the home games. We followed the playoffs in 2013. We went all the way to Florence, Alabama to see the national championship game. And I just thank people. I want to thank those folks. And I wouldn't have this, I don't know that I would do it otherwise than sitting here today. But just thank the people that have helped me reconnect with Lenoir-Rhyne.
Anything you put into words about what it is now being in the Hall of Fame?
Nah. It's 41 years back down the road. Never thought I'd be here. I'll be honest with you. I never thought I'd be sitting here having this conversation today. I thank the members of the committee. I don't know why you did, but I appreciate the fact that you did. I will tell you, I was sitting at my desk in my office at work one afternoon. I don't remember the date, but I believe it was back in May. And Kim Pate calls me. And, geez, Kim Pate was not in the habit of calling me. I had no idea what was up. And then she told me, congratulated me that I'd been chosen to be here today. It's great. I take it very seriously. It means a lot to me to be recognized and to be a part of a group of people that have been so successful in their athletic endeavors here at Lenoir.
We're glad you're here this morning. I hope you continue to come back and join us and be a part of the Bear family. Congratulations once again, ladies and gentlemen. Chip Sheffield, Hall of Fame class 2018. We have 4 Hall of Famers, as you can see, that have all been part of championship teams, and we have a 5th coming up now, also part of the championship team, celebrating their 30th anniversary here today. Here's our 5th Hall of Famer this year.
Scott Walker, class of 1991, arrived to Lenoir-Rhyne from Vernon, Alabama as a defensive back, but quickly became a lethal weapon as both a kick returner and big play receiver. Nicknamed The Rock, Walker owns the LR single season and career record for kickoff return yardage. In 1988, while the Bears were winning their second SAC championship, Walker led the nation in kickoff return yardage. As a receiver, he ranks fourth all-time with nearly 2,000 yards. And among his other notable achievements, Walker was all-conference, team captain, and MVP in 1990. And for a career, he amassed nearly 5,000 yards in all-purpose yardage, ranking among the highest in school history. Walker finished his playing career in the CFL before embarking on his life's work as an educator in Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame is about records and memories. Memory provides us access to the past as it constantly recedes away from us. This morning, we remember and honor the athletic achievements of Mr. Scott Walker, Hall of Fame class of 2018.
Scott, please come forward, my friend. We reconnected, 5 years ago in 2013 at the national championship game, and we saw each other last night. I want to say personally, congratulations on getting into the Hall of Fame. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, it's obviously a great honor. Fitting in, I think, to a great career, not by myself, of course. I give a lot of credit to the guys I played with in 87 through 90. I had a great group of guys, great group of coaches. The schematics were well on all those kickoff returns yards. That was well designed. I actually took that back to high school when I was coaching for 11 years and used it on our high school team. But I was put in a position to succeed. I played with a lot of guys that could have been standing in exactly where I was playing, and those balls we kicked to would have done the same thing because it was just, the blocking was immaculate.
Some of the fans that have seen us play this year, and I go back to 1988, we have a very balanced football team this year, rushing and passing, and you were part of that back in 1988, part of that championship team, building to the 1988 season. Take us back and talk about that team and that era and what it was like to play for a championship team.
Well, like I said, we had a great group of coaches, and I actually talked to Coach Perry right before I came in. He's here. I talked to Coach Farrington last night on the phone. He's the head coach at North Greenville. And Coach Fisher was the offensive coordinator. But the guys that I played with, they were just championship caliber. They had a, win at all costs mentality. But they made sacrifices. I mean, the position I'm in now and because I'm here is because of those guys, not for anything that I did. I was pretty fast. Had pretty good hand-eye coordination. But, somebody had to throw the ball. Somebody had to block so the quarterback could throw the ball. Somebody blocked on all those kickoff and punt return yards. So I definitely was never alone.
Who impacted you as you look back on your Lenoir-Rhyne career?
Let me say, my mom and dad are not here, but they taught me at an early age to be where you're supposed to be there when you're supposed to be there, and be there doing what you're supposed to be doing. So that was imparted on us at an early age. I started playing football when I was 10, and my dad worked at night, so in the afternoons, my mom was coming to football practice to pick me up back and forth. We lived about 10 miles from my school. She did that throughout my high school career until I got a car and I drove myself back and forth to school and practice. But the influences I had three actually pretty good high school coaches. One was big on weight training, introduced me to weight training when I was in 7th grade, and I still weight train 3 days a week now. After my sophomore year, he actually was dismissed, but he still taught at the high school. And we brought in another coach from a state championship program in another state in Alabama. He came to us and told us when we had our first team meeting that we're going to win the state championship. My sophomore year, we had won one game. We were 1-9. And And we said, man, this man is crazy. First of all, he got on 2 different shoes. He had on an Adidas and a Nike. So we were thinking, where did they get this guy from? But surely enough, we lost the first game of the season, 7-0, to the eventual 1A state champion. And we won 13 straight games, and we didn't win the state championship.
Wow.
So again, I played with a great group of guys then. I can't take credit for anything, anywhere I've been in my career. I got a lot of adulation, but I can't take credit for it all.
Everybody here up on the stage today has a nice story about how they came to Lenoir-Rhyne. You have one too. Talk about that.
I do. I originally signed to play with Livingston University in Livingston, Alabama, which is now the University of West Alabama. I went there. I stayed a while, and it just wasn't the right fit. It's like, you go shoe shopping, buy a pair of shoes that look good, you try them on, they feel good. Then you get home and later put them on, wear them around, and they just don't fit. That's the way I felt at Livingston. So I left there, went back home, stayed the fall of '87, and actually helped coach my high school football team that fall. Coach Fisher had spent some time at Ole Miss, and my high school quarterback's son was one of the quarterbacks at Ole Miss. So he and Coach McKinney had a relationship with Coach Fisher, so he called Coach Fisher and said, I got a guy that I think you'll like. So actually I came up here during a Christmas break, and nobody was on campus. Coach Fisher, we went into the gymnasium, and he actually threw passes to me in the gym. And that was it. He offered me a scholarship, and the best decision I've ever made.
You talk about he's one of the last players to ever play both ways, to start both ways, offense and defensively, back in the 1980s. But I look back at those teams, was it just my impression that a lot of times either Coach Perry or some of the coaches, they moved the best athletes over on offense? Is that your impression?
That's what happened.
A lot of times, though, they keep the best athletes over on defense.
They do. But actually, there's another guy here that started on defense that was moved to offense too, and actually it's several, because I think Yogi actually moved spots too. So there were several that actually moved in my time from one spot to another. But playing both ways was nothing new to me. I did that all my life. I was actually the quarterback on my high school football team. I played receiver and running back some too, and I was the free safety. So playing both ways wasn't anything to me. I don't know why, but gosh, it was more tiring when in college.
And as you look on your offensive career, you played with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks at LR, Tommy Laurendine and Brian Bryson. So they prepared you well.
They did. I talked to Tommy sometime now. He's actually at Mississippi College, and I said, Kenny Jones and I are the one put you in the Hall of Fame, right? And he said, man, y'all good. But those are 2 good teams that Tommy played on in the 2 years he came after he transferred from Appalachian. And I played 1 year with Brian Bryson, and he was just phenomenal too. I mean, you talk about a running quarterback. Brian Bryson could run too, but he also had a big arm.
As you think about this moment this morning, being in the Hall of Fame, put into words, you've mentioned a little bit already. What's it mean to you to get into the Lenoir-Rhyne Sports Hall of Fame?
Of course, it's the highest of honors, and I'm humbled by it, and I appreciate the Athletic Sports Hall of Fame committee for nominating me. But when I look back at it, and I think about the accomplishments that I had, that I'm getting a recognition for, it was still all about a team. Dr. Witt said this morning, there is no IE team, and I know that's an old adage, and everybody says that, but there is no IE team. So the things I did, I appreciate the guys that I played with, but there are a group of guys here today that I played with from '87 to '90 that are like brothers to me. You lose touch with some people and relationships fade, but these group of guys over the last 27, 28 years, we call, we text, we email throughout the year. We see each other every year at homecoming, and they really are like brothers to me. 5 guys that I know of that I played with have died. Most recently, Marcus Wall passed just this week. Brian Bryson's gone, Eldon Blue's gone, Steve Davison's gone, Travis Foster's gone, and like I said, Marcus. But these guys that I'm with today, that are here today, are like brothers to me. We tell each other we love each other all the time, and I do. And they know I love them, but I want everybody else to know that too. But you never know when it's going to be your last time. And when Marcus passed this weekend, you know, we were coming up here. You can't say you're glad it happened, but I'm glad it happened this week, because we actually been celebrating, you know, him this week as well. I've been here since Thursday, and it's hard because he was a really good friend. He actually graduated in my class. He'll be missed.
Scott, thank you. Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude, let us give another hand to all of our Hall of Famers. We thank everybody for coming this morning. Don't forget, we'll see you out between the bricks, and as always, go Bears. Bears.